everyone, how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here, and today we're reviewing Star Wars The High Republic Convergence. So this is the first book, adult book in Phase 2 of The High Republic. I'm kind of shocked to only find out that there are 2 of each book in this series right now. For this phase. Although it does seem that this phase does focus on duality, we have a lot of interesting stuff. This book itself focuses on the war between Irem and Ioru, which are twin planets that share a moon. One is a water planet and the other is a desert planet, and they hate each other. We actually get to see their beginning of a ceasefire and where that leads. So the system does not work with the Republic, so they're a independent system, so they don't want any help from any Jedi, any Republic, or anything like that. They want to solve this on their own. However, this conflict is getting to the point where it's messing with trade routes and everything, so of course the Republic has to pull in America and get involved no matter what. So the Jedi were planned to show up for Irem just to assist them in negotiating, but the Republic itself was not planned to show up. This is when one of the Chancellors, that's correct, one of the Chancellors, Morlo, shows up. There are 2 Chancellors during this time in the Republic, one to focus on the Outer Rim, one to focus about the Inner Rim. We have Chancellor Greylark for the Inner Rim, and we have Chancellor Molo for the Outer Rim. He's a he's from Mon Calamari, but he's a Quarren. So they kind of show up during a basically both sides getting supplies, a supply drop for both sides, and they cause a whole havoc. But also during that, one of Irano's ships was hacked by a mysterious force, thus almost causing the war to go back into full violence. We are introduced at this point to Princess Zuri, aka Captain Zuri. She is the head of the Irano fleet. She's also the Princess of Irano. Her and our main Jedi in this book, named Gela, try to assist the one ship, and they end up crashing into Irem. Gela makes it out fine, but Zuri crashes in the water, where she is saved by the Prince of Irem, Fantu Zen. He's the adopted prince, and during that they decide to try to hold a treaty to stop this war. They get their parents involved, they get the Jedi involved, and the Chancellor, and they meet on the moon to discuss. The Jedi do start investigating, realizing that there's a jammer produced by somebody. At this too, we are also introduced to the Path of the Open Hand, which is a religious cult that believes that the Jedi should not have the Force. Obviously that doesn't make sense, because it's not like the Jedi can control if they have the Force or not. But yeah, that's how they view. We also have the introduction of Axel Greylark, Chancellor Greylark's son. He's a scoundrel, I guess is the best way to say it. He's very problematic and everything like that. So he gets sent to the system to kind of be his mother's eyes during this whole situation. We later find out he has other means of being there. We'll get to that later on. But yeah, during the Peace Summit, there is a couple murders that happen due to other people and stuff like that, mainly the Viceroy of Irano, aka the Farrell family, who end up killing a Irano guard, and then Zuri's second in command. We also get some other stuff that happens with the Path of the Open Hand. We find out that they're basically they were assisting Irem for something, and then ended up basically, you know, betraying them and asking for more. So during the summit, it's discussed that Zuri and Fantu should marry to put the plans together. And it's kind of set up that like they don't really care about each other, but you could tell like reading through the lines that they are actually falling for each other, as well as Axel and Gela. So once they announced the wedding, they tore their planets to like kind of bring peace and everything like that. There's some hiccups, like Zuri has to fight for her honor in one town. The children of Iranu, which is like a extremist group, steal a bunch of Irem gear and then hold a Irano city hostage that they have to stop. And then we also find out that Axel is also working for the Path of the Open Hand. During this time, though, the four of them kind of group together and become an inseparable group. And Axel starts having second thoughts about the Open Hand. During this, they finally face off against Feral during the Children of Iranu fight, where they figure that the Feral family are the ones that are causing all the problems. So they put the Viceroy away, who ends up getting killed they put him away. He gets killed by Axel later on. But they also have sent somebody from the Path of the Open Hand that you're kind of led to believe is the main villain from Phase 1's mother, which isn't, because Axel kills her under command of the mother, who is the head of the Path of the Open Hand. So at that, they decide that they need to investigate that. So Axel takes himself and Gela on a red herring chase to try to get rid of Gela. He sends her in a fighting pit and then frames Viceroy Feral for all the problems going on. But he has a change of heart last minute and frees Gela. They come back, the wedding happens. Axel kind of breaks, I guess is the best way to say it. They basically find out that Irem was making poison to use on Irano people. And they decided that, or Fantu decided that they need to get rid of that. Axel stole some that he was going to give to the mother, and then he has a change of heart last minute. So he takes the extremist route of getting rid of all the poison by blowing up the main city of Irem. And Gela tries to stop him. He kind of breaks that he was part of the Path of the Open Hand. But he's trying to change and blah, blah, blah. Zuri ends up facing off against Feral's son, who decides to show up and try to bomb the city. They stop that, and then Axel is also stopped and thrown in prison. And Gela decides to become a Pathfinder, a Wayfinder. And the two royalties are married and decide that they will dedicate their lives to fixing their worlds. And that's how it ends. We will probably lead right into Convergence with that, but we're actually going to read a different book next. But that's the gist of the story. So for the main characters, I really liked Gela as a character. She had a lot of deep stuff and everything like that. I also felt like Axel was another favorite character of mine with his chaos and chaoticness and everything like that. Zuri definitely gave Princess Leia vibes, I felt like, and Fantu was probably the most relatable character in it because he was very down to earth and just, he is rich, but he came from nothing, which like made him kind of relatable to these two super rich people and then a Jedi that's like basically automatically a hero. Thought he was very relatable. So all around, I thought the characters were good. The story honestly has feelings of Phantom Menace in it. I don't know how else to explain it, but it feels like Phantom Menace and Clone Wars put together. It does have a lot happen in it too, where you spend majority of the book in their tour, but like the beginning does feel like its own little section. They do split this book up into 4 parts, and you do feel it with those 4 parts, like a setup, the summit, the tour, and the wedding. But yeah, it was still a very good book. I'm going to have to give it a 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it and thought it was fun. Next we are going to do, it's sitting right behind the camera, Quest to the Hidden City, which is the young readers book for this wave of Phase 2. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably come out in about 2 weeks because we got next week's comics to review. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that Nerd Ryan.